AskReddit by Jack Hoffman the Wise. What screams I'm very insecure? Constantly wedging humble bragging into conversations. I had a hard time with that when I was at Harvard. Automatically assuming negative intent. Egg. You friend didn't pick your call? Fuck her, she's trying to avoid me. I don't care about her anyway. Deleted. I mostly see this at work. People who are in upper management and treat people like garbage just because they can. Being unnecessarily mean, rude or bitter to people. Treating new employees like garbage just because you're threatened they might take your job someday. Deleted. This is a self-roast, but I think I degrade myself just to hear others deny it. Is that insecure? I do this and I definitely think it comes from a desire to get ahead of it, like, if I put myself down first then how badly can it hurt if someone agrees? It's created a cycle of almost compulsive negative self-talk that I'm trying to deprogram. Lifestyle creep. Constant fishing for compliments when around people. Egg. I'm so chunky as a direct way to get someone to tell you that you look great. Trying to dominate conversations, not to be confused with just being a charismatic person. I know a guy who will talk forever, on and on about something that may or may not be interesting to anyone but him in the first place. If anyone has something else to say that leads to a small tangent or participation of other people in the room, he becomes visibly annoyed and will bring it back with an anyway at the earliest opportunity and continue ranting. I don't like him. Edit. A lot of people are saying that they feel like they are this person. Just to clarify, it's not just the fact that he talks a lot and tends to be ranty that annoys me. Some people just have very active brains, and sort of runaway thought patterns if you will, and I get that. It's the fact that he seems offended that anyone would dare steal his conversation spotlight and want to participate that screams insecurity. Deleted. When people have and insist on constantly checking on their some tracking app on their phone. It's one thing to have it and use it in case of emergency, but using it while out with your friends to make sure he's actually at work is creepy and super insecure. I trail run. My boyfriend mountain bikes. We often go solo, especially when we're training for an event. Thanks for mentioning the emergency bit. When I mentioned we share locations, people get weirded out and call us stalkers. But the one time I have an emergency, I don't want it to be the time I forgot to turn it on. It was super handy this weekend when we were at the Baltimore Running Festival. Made it super easy to find each other after our events since the cell network was overloaded and calls were going right to voicemail. Deleted. I feel you, friend. There's something about eye contact and conversing where if I'm saying something I'll worry, shoot, do they think I'm lying? Wait, what if I am lying, and then obsess over the criteria that meets the situation. Example, I love cookies. But wait, do I like cookies more than other people? I don't eat them that often, so can I really say I love them? A silly little example, but my ability to rationalize needs a little help. I found that a lot of people on Twitter that feel the need to post about how great of a person they are and they have nothing but good intentions are usually the most toxic people I've seen. It's like they're trying to convince themselves. I also notice that the things they write about themselves are the kind of things you should let other people say about you. It's just tacky. I used to be very insecure, so I'll go from my own experience. Lying about something to seem cool. It's very obviously a signal of insecurity because they don't like who they are now. I have a brother who does this. He's so insecure about whether people see him as an idiot that he's getting his PhD so he can officially be the smartest person in the room wherever he goes. Almost verbatim. Dude lies pathologically about the dumbest shit. Clicking on this post to see if any of the top comments are things you do. It's nice to confirm I'm not a total piece of shit. If I am, how can I improve as a person? Just not shutting up about yourself. Constantly lifting yourself up and comparing yourself to others, while pushing them down. Also, constantly putting yourself down and comparing yourself to others. People who always have to one-up you in everything. If you tell a story, they have a better one. If you buy something expensive, they have to be something even more expensive. Some people's whole life is trying to win some non-existent competition. Those are the same type of people who go $75,000 into debt just to impress the neighbors who don't give a shit anyways. Deleted. I have a niece and nephew that are a month apart, and Jesus Christ, the competition is real. Like, how can you be mad that your nephew has more teeth than your kid? Who fucking cares? Bragging about things not even in your control, like your parents' wealth. Even worse, I have a friend who likes to brag to girls at the bar about how successful our other friend is because his parents have a successful business that he is taking over. Super cringy. One-upping people constantly in conversations. Or bragging about how much better you can do something than others can. Which is a much better comment than yours was. Women that guard their men like a soldier. I was leaving an abusive relationship. My friend offered me a place to stay. The hitch was if she wasn't there and just her husband was, I had to leave. I got a hotel room, not dealing with that. I had a coworker, 20, who used to stay with her aunt because her parents wanted to travel for a year. She wanted to leave so bad because the aunt did not want her home if only the husband was home. The most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Being unnecessarily mean-spirited to people. Had a guy threatening to kick the shit out of me if I told anyone he was dyslexic. People whose self-esteem is so low that they can't stand the sight of people with high self-esteem, so they will try to break down anyone they perceive as more successful than them. When a group of this type of people comes together, a major crab bucket mentality arises and they will target people perceived as highly competent or successful for bullying, gossip, false rumors, and other things that should have been wiped out after elementary school. Oof, you just described one of my co-workers. So glad she transferred to another department. People who feel the need to judge everyone in a negative light and who only want to see the worst in others so they can feel better about themselves. It just shows how unhappy they truly are. Ironically, people like this also feel like they are judged unfairly and constantly by the world. When you're reading an AskReddit thread, to make sure you're not making it too obvious. Just calling me out, huh? Dismissing people before they dismiss you. Oftentimes, people don't know the difference between telling it like it is and just being flat out mean. People who tell it like it is only give their opinion when it is warranted because they would want someone to tell them the truth instead of dancing around it. However, some can cross this line and just be straight up rude. While using this same reasoning, those who tell it like it is are secure. Those who are unnecessarily mean are insecure. Not exactly a direct answer to your question, but I've always thought this and wanted to share. Edit. Thank you for silver. Interestingly enough, many people who tell it like it is don't like it when others do the same to them. Bullying people. You don't try to bring other people down if you truly feel good about yourself. But my bullying has helped people change. Yes, I have actually heard that excuse. Joint Facebook profiles. Don't you bring my grandpa and grandma into this. Posting what you're up to every day on social media. Or the vague "I'm so upset right now" status where they are praying that someone asks what's wrong. If you want to say what's bothering you, do it. Don't clickbait your own status. BF. Alright, I'm going to work, babe. GF. You better not be fucking with bitches at work. Funny story. A few years ago my husband and I were sharing a car. One day I noticed a note under the windshield wiper that said something like "You're cute. Call or text me. Phone number." We thought it was funny that we didn't know who the note was intended for since we had both been driving the car. My Bill's, now ex-girlfriend heard us talking about it and said, if I ever found a note like that on Bill's car, I'd be so pissed. I'd probably call her and cuss her out. Okay, yay, totally reasonable reaction. Incapable of self-reflection. To be fair, self-reflection is where most my insecurities come from. Deleted. The more you talk about how good you are in bed and how many women you've fucked, the less I believe you. I am terrible in bed and have fucked a grand total of 0 women. Windows XP. I don't know. Most common viruses probably aren't compatible anymore. Saying I'm so random or I'm so funny on a regular basis. Don't forget I'm so quirky. Using your internal fear as a reason not to do something. Hate your job? You don't apply for any others because you are scared of being rejected, or that you don't deserve a better job. In a terrible relationship? You stay because you are scared of being alone. That kind of insecurity is the worst imma because it affects nearly everyone. Deleted. I only get along with guys. Other girls hate me. All girls are drama. Yeah, no, I'm not mathematician here, but even I can see a common denominator. I came here to find out what I need to stop doing. Edit. Holy shit, my first silver. And my first gold. Same, but when I start talking to people my mind just goes blank. I try so hard to think about the right things to do during conversations, but it's so fuzzy and distracting that I start stumbling my words. Insulting random people's physical appearance. A password made up on only lowercase letters. Correct or saboteristable. Immediately getting defensive whenever you try to help them. I build things and genuinely desire to just do it by myself since I've learned how. This is aimed at people that have no idea what they're doing that come running if I start to put up a heavy board or something to that effect. Being overly nice and being a yes man to make other people happy. Also having no opinions. Dude, I just woke up. Why are you taking shots at me already? Banning Winnie the Pooh because someone said you looked like him. My first thought. Can't handle being told they're wrong or ignorant about something. There. Lying about your opinions and views to fit in while cancelling somebody who thinks the exact same as you but chooses to express it. Anything Elena does in The Good Place. So well done. Tahani. 2, just in a different way. A huge lifted truck without any discernible work purpose being extremely aggressive in traffic. Anytime I'm stuck behind a car in the left lane and a car behind me starts flashing their brights, it's always a huge diesel pickup. I mean, I agree with them, the slow guy shouldn't be camping in the left lane, but what's flashing your brights at me going to do? I'm not able to go anywhere. Banning a Disney character from your country just because an university student said it looks like you. Truck nuts. I want to get a big truck and put those eyelashes on the front headlights and then the nuts on the back. Really make people question their tructuality. HTTP. Grabbing your girl tighter as you walk into public places. Followed by awful looks to anyone who makes eye contact. Rolling coal. For those like myself who didn't have a clue this was a thing, here's the wiki explanation. Rolling coal is the practice of modifying a diesel engine to increase the amount of fuel entering the engine in order to emit large amounts of black or grey sooty exhaust fumes into the air. It also may include the intentional removal of the particulate filter.